Welcome back to Ramping Up Your English, a support program for English learners who want to increase their level of English proficiency. If that's you, you're in the right place. This is episode 14, segment 3. Congratulations! I have a gift waiting for you at my website, letscreate.org. It's a bonus video of the Coast Starlight Northbound. Now, this bonus video contains the 3 parts of the northbound journey, plus some extra footage for you to enjoy. You'll enjoy some jaw-dropping views of Crater Lake, and you'll trace the course of the world-famous Rogue River. Simply go to the episode 14 page on my website and click the link to Coast Starlight Northbound Long, and enjoy the ride. On most trains, especially long-distance trains like the Coast Starlight, you don't just board the train whenever you feel like taking a ride. There are several steps that must be taken, and each of those steps involves the use of English. All of Amtrak's long-distance trains require a reservation. This is where your listening and reading skills become critical, since most reservations are taken by an automated telephone system, named Julie, or over the internet. Words like depart, departure, arrival need to be clearly understood, as well as the train numbers and the days of the week. This is a timetable, also called a schedule, that shows the departure and arrival times of the Coast Starlight. You can get one of these at a train station or over the internet at Amtrak's website. This table is the most important part of the train schedule. Let's go on to the next view, and what we see is connecting train from Vancouver, British Columbia. The times are coded in green. Now, our concern is departure from Seattle at 9:45 in the morning. At the very top, we see that this is train number 11, and we also see that this train runs every day. So, notice the orange arrows point downward, so this shows the schedule from Seattle to Los Angeles. The times of the Coast Starlight are in the purple column, along with some symbols. Now, for most stations, arrival and departure times are the same. At some stations, like Portland, the arrival and departure times are separate. That's because the train spends time in that station before departing. This is usually a chance to get off the train and walk around a bit before reboarding. Notice on the right side of the table, orange arrows are pointing up. You have to read this schedule from the bottom up if you're traveling north. There's a column of symbols just to the left of the arrows, and a purple column with the times to the right of those arrows. Now, since the Coast Starlight is a daily train, you'll have to figure out on which day of the week it arrives at your destination based on the day that you depart. To the right, there's a map and important information about this train, including the meanings of the symbols. So finding your departure and arrival dates are important. That's what you need to know to make your reservation. The price of the ticket is not listed in the timetable. So for that, you have to go to the website www.amtrak.com. Many passengers buy their tickets while making their reservations. Charging it to a credit card makes it easy to book the trip. You may get a paper ticket in the mail or at a Amtrak station, but it's more likely you'll get an electronic ticket. I find these valuable. Taking a look at the national turntable, it's a timetable of the trains Amtrak runs, all of them, as well as connecting service. You can look up your train by name or by number. This is especially handy if your trip involves taking more than one train. During your journey, you can keep track of the stations at which your train stops and just where in the USA you are. This vacation guide shows a pre-planned vacation you can book through Amtrak, but it doesn't include the schedules. It's an interesting read, but it's no substitute for the timetable. Doing a function like booking a train in your target language could be quite a challenge, but I found Amtrak personnel very patient and helpful, and sticking to the basics should help you get aboard the train for a memorable journey. Of course, You now have to bring your ticket, paper or electronic, to the station where your train departs well ahead of the published departure time. At smaller towns, a train running ahead of time may leave early, leaving you alone on the platform. Once a train moves out of the station, I have never seen one back up to get a passenger. Getting to the station well ahead of departure time should help you get on the train and enjoy the ride, but it's important to know the name and number of your train so you can see where and when to board. Amtrak's employees are very helpful, but sometimes they may be hard to find. As a passenger, it's your responsibility to board the train in time. You may find a conductor or a train attendant at the doors of the train. Attendants often look at your ticket to get you in the right car, but you have to hang on to it for the conductor to see. Sometimes the conductor will punch your ticket as you're boarding the train. Other times you just get on and the conductor comes around and checks your ticket while the train is moving. Whew, there are a lot of steps just getting on the right train at the right time, but it usually works out, even when you seem lost. All the steps require at least a little bit of English, but I've seen non-English speaking guests get by with just gestures. So don't let any of this discourage you. You'll find that the ride is more than worth the uncertainty. Spanish-speaking passengers will usually find Amtrak employees that speak enough of their language to get them on the train. Well, it looks like we have some time today for some FAQs, some frequently asked questions. Question: you often suggest reading books that are written in English. What if the viewer can't read English or can't even read in their native language? Well, that's a good question and a realistic one. For those who read in their native language, I still suggest finding these books and others about trains and railroads. I've chosen books that have many illustrations. Those illustrations, along with what you see and hear in the programs and the video clips, can help you start identifying the English words that are related to our unit. I also suggest that viewers find books in their native language that are on the theme of trains and railroads. You'll see the words in your own language that relate to our theme, and then you can start guessing which English words mean the same as the words in your native language. Be a detective. Try to make this a fun mystery to be solved. Sometimes your guesses will be wrong, but you'll be surprised how often you figure it out. If you don't read in your native language, you obviously won't have the luxury of making this kind of transfer, yet you can still benefit from trying to puzzle out which of the words and the sentences, what they seem to follow what you're seeing and hearing in the programs. Even if this is too great a gap to begin reading, the illustrations in the books along with the content of the programs will strengthen your listening skills, and you'll still find you're ramping up your English proficiency. Another question: do I recommend visiting a railroad museum? I certainly do. Anything that reinforces our theme to make the content of the programs and the recommended books more comprehensible, that will help you get more out of them. Also, railroad museums are numerous. There's likely to be one within 100 miles of your home. Railroad museums make great family outings. Most have display labels in English, but I wouldn't recommend trying to read everything. Do what's fun there. Make your visit a time of fun. You may find yourself going back for another visit or finding another railroad museum to visit. Well, that's all for segment 3 of episode 14 of Ramping Up Your English. I want to thank my volunteer crew, and I can tell you honestly there would be no program today without each and every one of them. So thank you for your time and talents to make this program possible. Also thank my announcer, Bob Ayers, and I want to thank you, our viewers. See you next time on RVTV Voices for Ramping Up Your English. I'm John Letts.
You've been watching Ramping Up Your English, a support program for intermediate level English language learners. Learn more. Visit our website at letscreate.org. You can also watch or download today's program at archive.org/details/roadtv. Join us next time on RVTV Voices for Ramping Up Your English.